Soft and fluffy pillars of potato dough tossed in the simplest tomato sauce. Get ready to impress yourself with how easy it is to make vegan gnocchi using only 6 ingredients. If you've been following our channel for a while, you'll know that I've previously made sweet potato gnocchi. Now, I'm making more traditional gnocchi this time, just using normal potatoes, and I'm making it a little bit faster, so you can also double or triple this recipe and freeze some, and you can have dinner ready in just 10 minutes midweek. Now, even though gnocchi are really easy to make, the key ingredient, which is potatoes, is really important to get right. So we need to use starchy potatoes or red potatoes, and ideally ones that are a little bit older because they have less moisture in them. The less moisture you have in your potatoes, the less flour you need to add, and the lighter and fluffier your gnocchi will be. Now, ideally for the potatoes to cook at the same time, when you're buying your potatoes, try and get them all the same size so that they cook at the same time, and you want them to be fork tender. You don't want to overcook them because again, you will be adding more moisture into your potatoes. To get started, add 500 grams or 1.1 pounds of starchy potatoes to a pot and add just enough water to cover them by about an inch. So the potatoes need to cook for about 25 to 35 minutes depending on their size. We want to bring them to the boil in cold water. Now, while we do that, we're going to make our really simple tomato sauce to go with it. Couldn't be simpler. Peel and thinly slice 4 cloves of garlic and place a saucepan on medium-high heat. Add a 1/4 cup of olive oil, and then once that's heated, add the garlic in and cook for a couple of minutes just before it starts to brown. We want to release the aroma without giving it colour. So we're going to use whole tomatoes because they're better quality, and we want to use Italian tomatoes. Now, rather than using my hands, I'm going to use a knife to just chop it up inside the can as much as I can before I transfer it to the pan. Carefully add it to the garlic and olive oil, pushing it down and breaking up any larger chunks of tomato. Be careful not to splash yourself. Fill up half the can with water and pour it into the pan. Add half a teaspoon of salt and let it simmer for about 7 to 8 minutes, then reduce to low heat. Perfect. So I'm just forking them out of the water because I don't want to drain them and then have them accidentally break while I do that. So I'm just going to pull them out with a fork. Hold each potato mid-air with a fork, peeling back the skin with a paring knife, and add them to a large bowl. Mash the potatoes with a potato ricer, food mill, or a masher, whatever you have on hand. Do this while the potatoes are hot because this way the potatoes will break down easier and the dough will be smooth. When all the lumps are out, add 1 cup of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, and knead the dough inside the bowl until it comes together. Then take it out of the bowl and continue kneading on a floured surface. You have to be careful not to overwork the dough. This should only take a few minutes. Keep in mind that if the dough is also not worked enough, it will fall apart as it cooks. Once you have it in a cohesive ball, cut it into 4 equal portions and set 3 of them aside while you roll a rope that's around 1 inch thick. Cut the dough into small bite-sized pieces. I like to roll them into balls to make it easier to roll the dough down the gnocchi board. If you don't have one, don't worry, you can create an indent with your finger on one side of the dough or use a fork to roll them down to create a similar effect to the gnocchi board. All 3 shapes are great for catching sauce. Set the made gnocchi aside and continue rolling out the rest of the dough. I find this part quite fun and therapeutic. If you think that the gnocchi will stick together, you can also flour them lightly. To a large pot of boiling water, add a good pinch of salt, and now we're ready to cook. Using a slotted spoon, add about 10 to 15 gnocchi into the strainer and lower it into the water. This will prevent you from splashing boiling water on yourself. Make sure that they're not sticking by running the strainer along the bottom. Repeat the process one more time, but be careful not to overcrowd the pot. Cook them for another 90 seconds to 2 minutes when they've risen to the top. Remove them with the slotted spoon into the sauce and stir them through to coat. Now we just need to repeat the process until all the gnocchi is cooked. At the end, add about half a cup of the cooking water to thin out the sauce a little. It's ready to serve. Enjoy this simple yet delicious dish topped with vegan Parmesan cheese, freshly cracked pepper, and some basil leaves. Buon appetito!